Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Huber begins now.
Good evening, everyone. There is mystery and shock tonight surrounding the death of a 49-year-old woman in Launceston. Police have spent the day guarding the home turned crime scene, with forensic officers working to determine what led to the tragic circumstances.
Chaos on Wellington Street as police swarmed this property. Officers arrived just before 9 o'clock last night after receiving a 000 call from a resident of the home.
Despite CPR being performed by a witness and officers, a 49-year-old female died at the scene.
Forensic officers searched for evidence into the night while detectives door-knocked surrounding homes.
We've had our forensics officers assisted by our Forensic Science Service Tasmania people from Hobart, working through the night.
A post-mortem is underway to determine the cause of death. Police don't believe any weapons were involved.
We've produced some CCTV, which has been handy, and of course, as I said, we're waiting on the results of the post-mortem, which we anticipate will assist us in the direction of the investigation.
Forensic officers returned to the property today, searching the house for evidence as they try to piece together what led to the woman's death. Detectives are keen to speak to anyone who was in the area last night.
Certainly ask anyone that might have any dashcam video or CCTV surveillance around that area. They might have seen someone on foot in that area. We believe there were some people seen on the footpath outside. We're not sure whether they're connected or not, but we'd certainly, if those people are listening, we'd ask them to come forward.
LETITIA WALLACE, 7 Tasmania News.
A second international Mercy flight planned for January 8 will no longer land in Hobart. The stranded Australians will now be taken to Darwin after the flight was rescheduled by the Commonwealth. Tasmania's agreement to accept up to 450 people is still active. However, it's not known when the next plane will arrive. The state government says it remains ready to help. When a near record number of boats have hit the water in the Launceston to Hobart yacht race. Crews left bracing for tough conditions with large swells and high winds expected to challenge the smaller vessels.
Dozens of boats have set sail for Hobart, but not before checking equipment and for unexpected surprises.
I reckon it was probably one of the other boats, our main competition, tampering with us before the race, wrapping some kelp around the keel to slow us, but managed to find that nice and early.
One of the few summer sailing events to go ahead, the Launceston to Hobart has attracted its third largest fleet in the history of the race. Stuart Addison was hoping to sail in the Sydney Hobart, but after its cancellation, joined the local event.
The guys on off-piste were nice enough to give me a ring at the last minute and say, do you want to come for a sail? And I was more than happy. I've been telling them I haven't got my wet weather gear so I can hide when the weather's bad, but don't think they're going to believe me.
The race won't be without its challenges, with wet and windy weather expected.
Bank Strait is very, very renowned for particularly bad seas where you have the tide against the wind. So depending on what time they get there, they could have up to 3.5 metre seas, which will be very, very steep, and for some of the smaller boats will be very difficult for them to manage.
Not a race for faint-hearted, this one, or for the really inexperienced. You're a fair way from help a lot of the time. You've got ports like St Helens that are fairly tricky to get into, and the next one is Tribunna, so there's a long way between them.
Alive is the favourite for line honours, but almost didn't make the event. The crew en route to Tasmania from Sydney as the state's borders shut to the harbour city.
It wasn't a huge surprise, it was just a logistical nightmare to get here.
A race record is predicted to be set this year, with Alive expected to arrive in Hobart in the early afternoon tomorrow. Elizabeth O'Neill, 7 Tasmania News.
The cause of a fire which destroyed a Rosebery home remains a mystery. Crews rushed to the property on Urquhart Street around 1 o'clock yesterday, finding the building engulfed in flames. A man was taken to the Northwest Regional Hospital with minor burns and has since been released. Anyone with information about the blaze is urged to contact Crime Stoppers. Members of the Tasmanian racing industry have been left disappointed after today's race meeting at Elwick Park was postponed because of damage to the track. The event is expected to be rescheduled to Wednesday, with stakeholders to be compensated under the abandoned races policy. The Tasmanian Racing Club says there has been serious track maintenance failings, while Tas Racing says it's investigating the issue. The $12.5 million track has been open for less than a year. Back home, and 20 years of persistence has paid off for the winner of this year's Hobart gift. Extra races were included in this year's Southern Carnival, with other events cancelled because of COVID-19.
At the Bikes and Spikes Carnival, the real race was against the weather. Marquees came down. Luckily for cyclists, the rain didn't. With Devonport and Latrobe's carnivals cancelled for 2020, all eyes were on Hobart. Perth teenager ISLA CARR battled the win to take the day's first big title.
It means so much. This is the first big race I've ever been in, and it's absolutely great atmosphere. I love it, yeah.
Next up, Melbourne's PLAPP stole the men's wheel from Tassie's Josh Duffy. But bringing the trophy home could be interesting.
It was an awesome race, and Duffy's one of my best mates. He's my housemate in Adelaide, so we live together and we'd always like to have a good show at the end.
And try to spot the winner of the men's gift. After a short wait for the judges, 38-year-old Luke Whitney couldn't hide his joy.
I tried for 20 years to win this race, and to finally win it in front of my family and home crowd. And yeah, it's bloody fantastic.
Hobart's Lucy Carter also making an astonishing career debut.
I'm pretty happy. This is my first win. Only I've started gifts this year, so pretty happy to have succeeded so quickly.
The season continues tomorrow in Launceston, with only cycling featuring at the event. Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
Good evening, everyone. Hobart saw a top of 26 today, 24 in Launceston, Devonport 20 and 19 in Burnie. Grove the state's top today with 28 degrees, Ouse 27, 25 in Strawn, Flinders Island reaching 24 and 19 in Low Head. Cloudy skies can be seen over the state today ahead of a frontal feature approaching the west coast this afternoon. Across Australia, the low-level cloud that can be seen about the Bight and to the south of Western Australia is due to onshore winds, and cloud elsewhere over the continent is due to thunderstorm activity. Tomorrow's chart shows a cold front over the Tasman Sea and southern New South Wales, with a ridge of high pressure extending from southern Western Australia to the east of Victoria and Tasmania. Southeasterly winds tomorrow 15 to 25 knots about the north and east at first, tending west to northwesterly at 10 to 20 knots in the afternoon. And there is a strong wind warning current for northern, eastern and southern coastal waters from Stanley to southeast Cape, and a warning to sheep graziers is current for northern and eastern districts in the morning. Partly cloudy and 19 in Hobart tomorrow, 18 degrees in Dover and Ouse. Launceston, a top of 20, partly cloudy and 18 in both Devonport and Scottsdale. Cloudy and 18 in Burnie tomorrow, a shower or two and 17 in Strawn, Stanley 18. And in the east, partly cloudy and 19 throughout St Helens, Swansea and also Ross. And the UV tomorrow is extreme 11s right across the state. Looking on to Tuesday now, showers about western, central and southern areas developing about the north during the afternoon. Similar weather on Wednesday, however extending to the east coast. And on Thursday, showers continuing about western, central and southern areas. 34 in Perth tomorrow, partly cloudy in Adelaide and Melbourne, 29 in Canberra and mostly sunny and 31 in Brisbane. And currently Hobart, 21 and cloudy, 20 and showers in Launceston and 16 in Devonport also with showers. And that's all in weather tonight, Lou.
Looking good, thanks Chelsea. And that's all your news now for this Sunday evening. Thanks so much for joining us. Kim will be back with you tomorrow. Good night.